What's going on, everybody? We have some things to talk about. We got a Peacemaker Season 2 trailer. We got some big news on the box office, I guess, fight of the summer. So, let's get into it. First, let's talk about this Peacemaker Season 2 trailer, which just came out the other day. Peacemaker had a panel at San Diego Comic-Con, so a lot of people were excited. They announced that there was going to be a trailer, and here it is. I'm not going to play it because, copyright and all that jazz. And you know how Warner Brothers loves to hit people with copyright on social media. And it's really weird because some people, they can get away with it. I can't. I know other people who can't, but some people, they can just get away with it. It is what it is. So I'm just going to kind of run through it here like so. So it opens up with, Peacemaker and the 11th Street gang kind of hanging out and just, enjoying themselves. There's some comedy there, but it's really like Peacemaker's talking about how a lot of things have changed, and he kind of wants more. He wants to be a hero and not just who he has been portrayed as, or what people have viewed him as being more of a, vigilante-esque, not like vigilante, but more of like an anti-hero of sorts. And it's kind of like, you got to do what you got to do. Like, you are who you are is basically what everybody keeps telling him, but you got to make the best of it is kind of what they say. Then we get Rick Flag Sr. saying that I want to find the Peacemaker for killing my son. They see that they showcase that he's being surveilled. And then they talk about the multiple realms that are possible here, which is kind of exciting. And we get to see one of the alternate realities that they go to where Peacemaker is kind of beloved. And because he's having this issue where it's kind of like, oh man, I want to be better than I am now. Obviously, he's going to want to stick with going to that. And so that's sort of what he goes to. And I guess that's how we see his father come back and everything like that. I got to say, I'm intrigued by this season. I think a lot of people thought, and hear me out here, tell me if you think I'm wrong. A lot of people were thinking that this season was going to be how they introduced Peacemaker into the DCU, but I don't think that's how it's going to be. I could be wrong, but I think he's already in the DCU. I think this doorway into these other alternate realities is just going to be a fun adventure that he goes on. I don't think it's going to be where at the end he is in the DCU. I think he starts in the DCU and he ends in the DCU. I don't think it's going to be he starts in the DCEU and then ends in the DCU. I don't think that's how it's going to happen. So that's pretty much the trailer. Like I said, I didn't want to go and play the trailer because it's copyright stuff, but I really enjoy this trailer. It's gotten me hyped up more for season 2 than I've been hyped up for it. And don't get me wrong, I've been extremely hyped for it, but I'm definitely more excited for it now. It's coming out in, less than a month, really like 3 weeks from now. I'm excited. Are you excited? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. All right, moving on. This is some big news. All right, some big news. Superman has officially crossed $500 million globally at the box office. Now, why is this big news? Well, for one, as I've been saying for months and months and months, comic book movies haven't been doing this. They have not been doing this for the last number of years. Yes, I know Deadpool and Wolverine made over $1 billion. I understand that. That is an exception, not the rule that has been getting set by countless other, well, I won't say countless, but many other comic book movies over the last 2 to 3 years. So when you sit back and you take a look at this thing, you're kind of like, okay, 500 million, that doesn't seem like a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, when you see all the other comic book movies only making $390, $450 million, $500 million globally is showing, hey, maybe the comic book movie genre is moving in the right direction, and Superman is the first one, possibly, I'm saying possibly, is the first one to be pushing it in that direction. It's awesome to see, right? I think it's great. Now, yes, there's a whole bunch of people out there saying, well, that's far cry from the $1 billion people said it was going to make. Nobody ever said it was going to make $1 billion. Yes, there were some over-enthused fans who were sitting there saying, this movie's going to hit $1 billion. But people who really understood and know what's going on never thought that this movie was going to make $1 billion. I said it had the potential to do it, but I never actually thought it was going to do it. I always said that I thought that it was going to hit the $700 million mark, which, hey, it's still possible for it to hit $700 million. And here we are, $200 million away. It could do that within the next 2.5 months. Absolutely. So, guys, Superman, it's moving, it's strong. People are still loving it, still making millions and millions of dollars each and every day. Even in the middle of the week, it's still making money, which is great to see. So that is exciting. But let's not forget that Fantastic Four came out this week. And what does that mean in regards to Superman? Because there was a big battle. Who was going to come out on top for the best opening weekend of the year, of the summer, of the comic book movie fight, whatever you want to call it? Well, it's being reported that Fantastic Four First Steps has rocketed to $118 million U.S. box office for a $218 million global pull for the opening weekend. Now, this is early reports. Monday, probably midday Monday, late Monday, we're going to see what the official numbers will be. Could be up a little bit, could be down a little bit. But for the most part, we're looking at 218 to 220 globally, 118 million domestically. Okay? So that's what we have. Well, guys, those of you who are big fans of DC and Superman, well, let's not forget that domestically, Superman pulled $125 million. $125 million its opening weekend. So how does that stack up against all of the superhero films of the year? Well, Captain America's opening weekend was $89 million, Thunderbolts was $75 million, and Superman was $125. And now we're getting reports that Fantastic Four is 118, which could be probably more like 120, maybe 119, somewhere around there when the official numbers come out. That is phenomenal, guys. That is absolutely phenomenal. It's great to see. Give a round of applause to DC Studios, to James Gunn, winning the opening weekend box office war of 2025 when it comes to comic book movies. Bravo, sir. You did a very valiant job. So it's awesome to see. So where are we at right now? So the overall box office, obviously this is just the opening weekend for Fantastic Four. Like I said, they sit at 218 right now. Damn good job. Look, if you saw my review, you know that I didn't think it was the best movie of the year. I didn't think it was the best comic book movie of the year, but I enjoyed it to a degree. And yes, I fully believe that it should be making money. I'm glad that it's making money. It should be making money. It should be. Absolutely. So we keep moving on. Superman currently sits at $502 million. Look, there were people saying it wasn't going to hit 500. Now there's going to be people saying it's not going to hit 600. We know it's going to just keep building and building and building over these next 2.5 months. It's going to absolutely hit those numbers. It's going to do well. We've been saying this for so long that this movie was going to do well. It's going to be solid in the box office. This thing has legs. It absolutely has legs, and it's great to see. Look, there are people that were saying it wasn't going to hit 200 million internationally, and it's hit over 200 internationally. It could now hit 300 internationally if it continues on its trajectory, which is great to see. But here's the thing I want to point out. This is the kicker I want to point out before we end this show or this video. I just want to point something out. Domestically, $289 million, right? $289 million domestically. That's great to see. Man of Steel made $291 million domestically total, and it's a full run. Okay, guys? Just remember that. So when you have those naysayers, the ones who sit there and constantly throw these numbers at you that Man of Steel did this with a box of scraps in a cave. Look, Superman is going to surpass Man of Steel's box office domestically. With all of these things going against it, with all of these things going, ticket sales down 30 to 40%, with the box office for comic book movies down dramatically since 2013. I mean, you're talking about the average comic book movie box office in 2013 being near 700, if not more, $1 million, whereas today, the box office for comic book movies average is $400 to $450 million. So you sit there, you see those things, plus the streaming, the fact that movies are going onto streaming services within 45 days. Yes, they're still in theaters, but you can buy them digitally and watch them digitally within 45 days. So there's so much going against movies today that wasn't there back in 2013. And the fact that this movie is going to surpass Man of Steel domestically, you can always throw that in their faces. The ones that want to sit there and yell and scream, Man of Steel did this. Guys, look, you lost. But let me know your thoughts about all this. This is all fun to hear. What did you think of the Peacemaker Season 2 trailer? Are you excited for it? What do you think about the box office for Superman? It's great to see over 500 million worldwide, on its way to 300 million domestically. It's going to hit it before the end of next week, most likely. Definitely. I won't say most likely. Definitely. It's still making like $5 to $10 million a day in the middle of the week, so it's definitely going to hit it before the end of next week. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. With all that said, I'll catch you all later.